Occupations and administrative regulations to order. First of all, a few announcements. Please silence your cell phones or set them to stun. If you're interested in testifying, please sign up on the sign-in sheet in the back. Testimony is within the chair's discretion. No signs are permitted in the committee room. And last night I learned that yesterday was Representative Herron's birthday, so happy birthday. There's no better way to spend your birthday than here in Frankfort all day. So, please call the roll.
Representative Banta.
Here in the room.
Representative Bratcher.
Here in the room.
Representative Birch. Representative Flannery.
Present, Annex Office.
Thank you. Representative Gentry.
Here in the room.
Representative Herron. Representative Huff.
Here in the room.
Representative Cook.
Here.
Representative Massey. Representative McCoy.
Here.
Representative Meredith.
Yes, ma'am.
Representative Miller.
Present.
Representative Moser. Representative Palumbo.
Here in my annex office.
Thank you. Representative Pratt.
Here in the room.
Representative Santoro.
Here.
Representative Timoney.
Here.
Representative Westrom. Chairman Koenig.
Here. We have a quorum and ready to do business. We got some members that need to bounce to Senate committee meetings and some members that are in Senate transportation specifically. So we're going to change up the order a little bit. We're going to get started with Senator West. If you would come on down and talk about Senate Bill 65.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Senator West, 27th District. Thanks for having me this morning. What you have, there is a committee sub, Mr. Chair, House Committee sub.
There is a committee sub, motion and second that I believe showed up in your mailboxes Monday afternoon. Any questions about the sub? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? We have the sub before us.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is Senate Bill 65. If you were in the House last year, you voted for a Senate Bill 65. This is the same mechanism. We purposely kept the same number, and we started this last year. The idea, I'm chairman of the Administrative Reg Review Committee along with Chairman Hale, and the general idea of the bill is every year, if a regulation is found deficient in the Administrative Reg Review Committee, we will file a statute stating that regulation is now null and void. And what it did was, and we've seen pretty good results, that it keeps the executive branch accountable, and they know if they bring a reg that is eventually found deficient, that it will become null and void at the end of our session, and that's what this does. It applies to 2 regulations that were found deficient over the past year. So we reviewed thousands of regulations, and we found 2 deficient. And so this just codifies that and states that these 2 regs that we found deficient are now null and void for a year.
Motion bill.
Yeah.
Second.
I have a motion from Representative McCoy, second from Representative Cook. Any questions or discussion? Representative Gentry.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. No surprise I have questions on this.
No worries.
Senator West, help me understand this a little bit. As I understand regulations in general, promulgating regulations, we do this to help provide rules and directions for laws that are passed. And when a regulation is deemed deficient, then it usually is either violating or underlying or not necessarily what's the word I can use here, to the intent of the law that's in place. Is that correct? or is
That's correct.
Okay. So in this particular instance, my first question, I guess, is can you tell me in your own words what you believe the intent of workers' compensation law is? Real general. I mean,
Yeah, I would say the general legislative intent is to provide healthcare and compensation to injured workers. Now, that's the broad general statement, and that's the legislative intent. And you can get real specific on each law has specific intent as it applies to any subject, and same applies to workers' comp.
okay. The intent's actually more than that. It's actually one of the best laws that's ever been produced, and it's over 100 years old, and it's one of the best laws because it's a synergistic benefit kind of a law, because basically what has happened is employees have traded off their ability to sue an employer for negligence or product liability or something in that sense, in exchange for a no-fault situation on an accident that happens in a workplace. So basically what happens is both the employer and the employee benefit greatly by this, because most of the cost and time go into medical decisions by medical professionals instead of in a courtroom, which does nobody any good, because the whole intent is to provide health and assistance to the injured worker and get them back into the workplace as soon as possible. Basically what has happened is we deemed in this law that the cost of workplace accidents is a cost of producing a good versus a burden onto society. So whenever we start making decisions, well, I won't even say that. Can I do a follow-up question, please, Mr. Chair?
Yes, please do.
Sorry if I ran it on a little bit, but
It happens around here.
This is important that we understand what the intent of a law is when we're dealing with regulations. So, if you have disagreement with that in any way of what I said, please let me know. But if you do not, it leads to this next question. Could you explain specifically how these regulations might violate or undermine or go against what the intent of workmen's compensation law is?
Yes, I can specifically tell you what happened in the case of the Labor Cabinet Reg. What had happened is the Cabinet set out a new regulation. They approached the committee on that regulation. The regulation was an attempt to set up a whole new process within workers' comp. And the administration wanted to hire a medical director and put that medical director in place of some decisions that were being already made by administrative law judges. So it was probably $1 million appropriation and a totally new system within existing work comp law. We felt that when against the legislative intent, it was an incredible change, a big change that we felt needed to talk to the legislature about it. But at the beginning, we asked them to defer and talk more, negotiate with the parties. That went on for 3 or 4 months. So they agreed to defer 2, 3, 4 times. At the end of the day, I went out of the way and called I said, I'm a real estate lawyer. I'm not a workers' comp lawyer. So I called in the Senate president and I called in Senator Wheeler and I said, let's negotiate with the cabinet on this. Let's come to a conclusion. Maybe this is a good idea. I don't know. But we had those negotiations. We thought we had an agreement with the cabinet. They were going to come into the session. We were only like a month away from the session. So they were going to bring that reg into the session, and we were going to negotiate a compromise, come out with a new statute. We thought we had an agreement. The very next meeting, they came in and said, we are not going to defer. We're going to roll on with the regulation, which went against what we thought was an agreement. And so at that point, we felt that because they did not have the statutory authority to proceed in that manner, that the committee voted to find the reg deficient. So, and if they have not been to us since we've been in session to advocate for this change in the reg, and so it was, to me, this was the perfect example of the process working and the sides being able to compromise and come to a solution. So, and really protecting the legislative process.
If I could, one last follow-up question.
Please.
Is it
Yeah,
fair
yeah.
to say that you guys had concerns with cost being high with this bureaucratic process of putting in a medical director?
That was part of the equation. They stated that it would probably be $300,000. We thought it may be in the area of $1 million. By the time you hire the medical director, who has to be a medical doctor, that's probably not cheap, and then all their staff. But more importantly, we felt it was a complete change in the existing process. And they talked about, backlogs of cases and those sorts of things. And we felt they have existing authority to hire more ALJs if they want to do that. And we felt they should maybe do that first. And we were open. If you wanted to do this, there are plenty of people in the legislature dealing workers' comp. Get us involved, and if it's a good idea, we'll try to make it happen. But it kind of went off the rails at the end there.
Okay, thank you for that answer, Senator. My concerns with legislation like this is we're making decisions based on cost instead of, I think the intent of this regulation is to provide a medical professional in certain situations to make medical decisions instead of an administrative law judge that has to do with the treatment, the proper treatment of an injured worker. And again, if you go back 100 and something years, the original intent was to take whatever cost is necessary to provide the best treatment available for that injured worker and consider that cost to be a cost of production in exchange for tort liability protection for the employer. And when we start moving in a direction where we start peeling away for cost control measures for the employer and the insurance company off the backs of maybe some treatment that might be available or a medical process, and I think that itself undermines the original intent of the law. And I mean, Tennessee has done this and has put this medical director in place, and from the data that I was able to quickly look at over the last 1,500 rulings, only 5 were appealed out of 1,500 to the administrative law judge. So it's working. But, and you must ask yourself, what kind of cost, there may be some upfront cost, but what kind of cost might be saved because an individual gets proper treatment that they may not be getting otherwise, because we have an administrative law judge who may be one of the greatest administrative law judges out there, but they're not a medical professional. And maybe somebody doesn't get the right treatment. Maybe there's a surgery that takes place that maybe shouldn't have taken place, and there's further injury that occurs, and this individual's out of the workplace even that much further. There's all kinds of things that could happen there. So I think this is a complex issue. I would love to see more discussion on this issue, because I think there's evidence out there that a medical director can actually provide a really good service. So
yeah, currently those medical decisions are handled by experts in the case itself. And the case was, let's bypass that and have a medical director make some of those decisions. I'm not necessarily opposed to the concept. What we were opposed to is the process. The proper process is through the statutory process, getting the legislature involved. If the governor's office was intent on doing it this way, I'm sure they could have found a sponsor of some type of bill in the legislature to actually file a bill and advocate for that. That was the proper way to handle it, or negotiate. And so it's more about the process than about the issue itself in this particular case, in my opinion.
All right, and I know we have one presenter of a bill that needs to get back and make some votes in Senate Transportation. I got one member that needs to go present in Senate Transportation. So, Representative Herron, if you sure? Okay, well, thank you. I know a little bit about workers' comp, unfortunately, Senator West, and I agree with you that if it's a great idea, I'm open to listening and looking at numbers and statistics, and maybe it's an improved process. But yes, that should come through the legislature, not through executive decision. So, seeing no further questions, please call the roll.
Representative Banta,
Yes.
Representative Bratcher,
Yes.
Representative Birch, Representative Flannery,
Aye.
Representative Gentry,
No.
Representative Herron,
No.
Representative Huff, Representative Cook,
Yes.
Representative Massey,
Yes.
Representative McCoy,
Yes.
Representative Meredith,
Yes, ma'am.
Representative Miller,
Yes.
Representative Moser,
Yes.
Representative Palumbo,
No,
Representative Pratt,
Yes.
Representative Santoro,
Yes.
Representative Timoney,
Yes.
Representative Westrom, Chairman Koenig.
Yes. Motion passes. Same should pass on the House floor. Thank you, Senator. Representative Johnson, I know I told you I would do you second. Will you be offended if I take on Senator Wise so he can go vote in Senate Transportation? Thank you very much. Senator?
Frankfurt in my office watching a meeting.
Senate Bill 58. Senator Wise, and have your guest please introduce himself.
Chairman Koenig, thank you. Members of the committee, Max Wise, State Senator, District 16.
Mason McNulty, the administrator for the Kentucky Board of Barbering.
Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, this is a simple cleanup bill that has to do with barbering and actually barbering schools. And to operate a barber school, you have to have already been a licensed barber who's graduated from a licensed school of barbering. You have to have a sufficient number of teachers who have already been licensed, and at least one of those teachers must have had at least 36 months of experience. This bill simply changes that 36 months to 12 months as a minimum for at least one
Motion on the
barbering.
bill.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Are there any questions? I have two. One, was this bill vetted in the interim?
It was discussed with Senator Schickel, but this was not presented in front of Senator Schickel's committee. Being very transparent and honest. I'm an honest man. What can I say?
I appreciate that. Since it's not chickelized. And what
Unless
sort of-
another member presented that bill other than me in front of his committee.
Oh, I knew the answer before I asked it. And what sort of magic did you do to make this happen?
You know, sometimes with stories need to be left alone when it comes to John Schickel. So.
Fair enough. Seeing no other questions, please call the roll.
Representative Banta,
Yes.
Representative Bratcher,
Yes.
Representative Birch, Representative Flannery,
Aye.
Representative Gentry,
I'm a yes because the last bill wasn't vetted either.
Representative Herron,
Yes.
Representative Huff, Representative Cook.
My yes vote.
Yes, sir.
It's an excited yes, and let's hurry up and get done. I need to go see Senator Schickel.
Representative Massey,
Yes.
Representative McCoy,
Yes.
Representative Meredith, Representative Miller,
A hesitant yes.
Representative Moser,
Yes.
Representative Palumbo,
Yes,
Representative Pratt,
Yes.
Representative Santoro, Representative Timoney,
Yes.
Representative Westrom, Chairman Koenig.
Yes. Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, members of the committee.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Representative Johnson, I appreciate your indulgence. House Bill 213. Floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. DJ Johnson, State Representative, 13th District. And I let my co-presenter introduce himself.
Brigadier General retired Steve Bullard, Executive Director, Kentucky Commission on Military Affairs.
Motion on the bill.
There is a committee substitute.
We have a, hold on. We're going to ask Representative Pratt to withdraw his motion.
I do.
All right. We have a motion from Representative Timoney, second from in the direction of Representative Miller. Okay. Any questions about the sub? Seeing none, all in favor of the sub signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed. Motion carries. We have the sub before us.
Thank you, Mr.
Representative
Chairman.
Pratt.
Motion on the bill.
We have a motion and a second. Would you like to give your 30-second explanation?
I didn't even get to say that this bill was vetted during the. Very quickly, this it's one of the series of compact bills we've been doing. This one deals with occupational therapists. It's very beneficial to spouses of military members brought into Kentucky due to PCS. And with that, I will leave it there, unless, General, you have something you need to add.
Well said.
Thank you.
Any questions? Seeing none, please call the roll.
Representative Banta.
Yes.
Representative Bratcher.
Yes.
Representative Birch. Representative Flannery.
Yes.
Representative Gentry.
Yes.
Representative Herron.
Yes.
Representative Huff.
Yes.
Representative Cook.
Yes.
Representative Massey.
Yes.
Representative McCoy.
Yes.
Representative Meredith.
Yes, ma'am.
Representative Miller.
Yes.
Representative Moser.
Yes.
Representative Palumbo.
Yes, with a man from the barbecue capital.
Representative Pratt.
Yes.
Representative Santoro. Okay. Representative Timoney.
Yes.
Representative Westrom. Chairman Koenig.
Yes. And carries. The same should pass on the House floor. Thank you.
Sir.
Last but not least, Senate Bill 113, which is a bill from Senator Kerr, but she has left things in the capable hands of Julie Campbell. If you'll introduce yourself and your guest for the record.
And I'm Christopher Hunt. I'm attorney for the Board of Cosmetology.
Is your microphone on, Julie?
Yes.
Then please bring it closer because I can hardly hear you.
Sorry.
Thank you. Please proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Well, first of all, we have a committee sub.
Yes.
Second. We have a motion from Representative McCoy, second from Representative Timoney. Any questions? Seeing none, all in favor? Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on.
Absolutely. The bill was introduced several sessions ago and continued to be discussed. It is to provide in-home care for medically infirm individuals, particularly as they age and are unable to get out and have care for themselves, and to adjust some definitions for clarity.
Can you explain again, in-home care, is this medical care or beauty care?
Cosmetic, haircuts, things like that for aging baby boomers and others who are unable to get out.
Thank you.
Any other questions about the sub? Seeing none, all in favor of the sub signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, we have the sub before us. Do you have anything else on the topic of the bill?
That's essentially what's there.
All right. I will entertain a motion for passage of the bill. Second. All right. Again, Representative McCoy and Representative Timoney. Any questions? Seeing none, please call the roll.
Representative Banta.
Yes.
Representative Bratcher.
Yes.
Representative Birch. Representative Flannery.
Yes.
Representative Gentry.
Yes.
Representative Herron.
Yes.
Representative Huff,
Yes.
Representative Cook,
Yes.
Representative Massey,
Yes.
Representative McCoy,
Yes.
Representative Meredith, Representative Miller,
Yes.
Representative Moser,
Yes.
Representative Palumbo,
Yes.
Representative Pratt,
Yes.
Representative Santoro, Representative Timoney,
Yes.
Representative Westrom, Chairman Koenig.
Yes. Motion passes. Same should pass on the House floor.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Having come to the end of the agenda, I do not anticipate any other meetings, but you know how things go. For those of you who've been here before, crazy things happen at the end. So keep your eyes and ears open. We appreciate everyone's attendance, and we will stand adjourned.
Representative Miller. I almost ate you. I take offense at that. No, no offense.